Today, I'm going to show you how to save loads of time and prevent headaches as you set up song projects in your workstation. I'm talking about using templates. By using templates, you're not going to save just minutes, but you're going to save hours. And I mean every time that you set up a new song project. So stick with me as I walk through how to set up a template. I'm going to give you examples of some of my own templates, and then I'm going to give a couple extras that will help even more. Hey, I'm Kevin. I'm the founder of Innovaniac Music. It's a company devoted to empowering indie artists. We produce and we publish their music while guiding them toward building strong, engaged audiences. Check it out, leave a note in the comments, and tell me what you think. Awesome. So today I'm going to talk about what my templates look like and why I set them up the way that I do. And then lastly, I'm going to just share a little bit about how to create a template. My hope here is that you can save a whole lot of time when you're working on your different projects. That'll allow you to spend more time doing the fun things that actually lead to the finished product rather than all the time that it takes to set up a brand new template for every single song. So you can see I have StudioOne Professional opened up here. This is just the launch page. This is what you typically see if you're popping open your StudioOne. And what you see on the left side of the screen is all these different songs that I've been working on recently, songs and different projects, right? And this is really helpful because I might just want to pop into one of them and kind of start off wherever I left off. This is super easy. You just click on it, it goes right to it, and you're good to go, right? But what we're talking about today is actually a brand new song and how it looks going from scratch, right? And some of the reasons why a template would be helpful. So I'm just going to create a brand new song project. And this is going to be a fake song. So I'm just going to call it Test, okay? Now, if you don't have templates set up, then what you're going to see on the left side of the screen is only record and mix. A new Studio One song is going to be from scratch. There's not going to be any template to work with. And that's fine. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to pop that open. Now you can see on the left side of the screen, a big blank column. This is normally where all the tracks would go, right? Say you have a song and a client sends you 10 different guitar parts and maybe 10 different vocal stems and maybe one or two bass guitar stems and, maybe 8 or 10 different drum stems, maybe even some synthesizer, right? And I'm going to have to go and actually create a new track for every single one of those that they sent to me. I'm also going to have to figure out, is it a mono track? Is it a stereo track? Am I going to use a virtual instrument track? All these different questions. So let's just say that they're all stereo tracks, right? Now, he sent 10 different guitar tracks. I'm going to go ahead and call this Guitar 1 for the first one that he sent. And I tend to like to colorize them, so let's just make them blue. You can do whatever you want. If you think guitars are red or orange or whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this track. And I think I said there was 10 different guitar stems that got sent out. So I'm going to create 10 of these things. And you can see this is taking me some time. There is maybe a faster way to do this, but you get the idea. So I've created these 10 different tracks for the guitar. And at this point, I could actually grab those files that got sent to me and I could plug them in and then move on to the vocals or the drums or whatever and kind of repeat that process. I also tend to like keeping all of my instruments in instrument track folders. So I'm going to create a folder track and I'm going to call it Guitar All. Just for example, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to keep it the same color as all the guitar the guitar tracks, and I'm just going to pop them into this file right here. And that way, when I'm mixing and working on the project, maybe I'm really focused on the drums. Then I want to close up the guitar folder, and just look at all the drum tracks that are going on, right? And then if I want to go back and adjust something on the guitar, I can pop it back open, and there they are, right? Okay, so that's cool. Now you'll see on the top of the screen, there's also a lot of different functions and settings. I'm not going to go and walk through all of these right now, but as you learn how to use these and which ones that you tend to prefer, then you're probably going to want to have your template set up automatically with those settings, right? And then again, on the right side of the screen, you can see different options. You might have virtual instruments that are set up, right? You might have different plugin and effects that are available to you. Um, Different things that you could choose to include in your template that may save you a little time. So, for example, maybe you always use the same reverb on vocals. Well, it would be really cool to have that built in, wouldn't it? So, if I click on my mix page, for example, you can see all these guitar stems. And on the right, you have this mix channel, and there's nothing in it right now, but I tend to like having a couple of different things in my mix channel. Like I really enjoy having a limiter, for example. Why do I have a limiter? Because sometimes I want to hear what something is going to sound like in its master project phase while I'm doing the mixing project, right? So I'll flip it off and on and that kind of thing. I also really like to have a phase meter built in. Why do I like a phase meter? The reason is because it helps me see very quickly if I have good separation and balance and if I'm using panning appropriately. And, it makes a big difference in the final mix, right? There's a couple other things. I like to have a spectrometer built in so I can quickly see if there's an EQ issue or if things are balanced, just at a quick snapshot. And again, this is just a 30,000-foot view. You're going to want to dig in with an actual EQ to fix any problems, but it just helps me see any red flags right off the bat. And I may want to put a tuner in here too, so that if I'm recording a guitar or a bass or something like that, then I can quickly tune it up and be on the go, right? Now, adding all that stuff in, and again, let's say that I really like to have a certain reverb on the guitars, then I can go ahead and pop it in there. And then I can open up my plugin and I can say, oh, I like the guitars to have a medium club reverb on them. And I tend to like to have them set a certain way, whatever. I actually don't do that for guitars, to be honest with you. But for example, right? Then all the time that it takes to kind of build that stuff in, you could actually eliminate all of that by creating a template. Now, let's say, for example, that this thing that we've just created is actually the way that we really want our template set up. And keep in mind, you can always make changes and update it after the fact. That's no problem. But if I want to save this and use this as my template, I'm going to go into this file and I'm going to select this save as template function. Super straightforward, right? Click that. It's just going to say, what do you want to call your template? I'm going to call it test. You can subtitle and description it if you want to. For example, in my templates, I have one template set up for my podcasts. I have one set up for my song projects, right? This would be where you would do that. And if you want to have a custom logo set up for the different templates, that's totally fine too. But for this one, I'm just going to save it as this standard StudioOne icon, right? I'll click OK. Now, that didn't save the song, but what it did is it actually saved it as a template. So I'm going to go ahead and close this now, pretend it never happened. And I'm going to start from scratch again. This time I'm going to click on New, and you can see now under the templates, if I scroll down a little bit, this test template is right there. If I click on it and then launch a new song, it's already built exactly how we had it set up. And I think you can probably see how that would save you a lot of time, because getting a song project page set up, that can literally take you 30, 45, even 60 minutes sometimes. Depends on the project, but it can take so long. And if you have your template already set up, then it's a breeze and you get right to the fun stuff. And that's what it's really all about, right? So I'm going to close this and I'm going to show you an example of one of the templates that I've already created for myself. I call this Innovaniac Music Fab Filter plugin template. And the reason is because I really love some of the Fab Filter plugins that are built into this template. So I'm going to click OK and pop this open. Now what you see is something completely different, right? It's completely set up. I have pre-built 10 vocal tracks, 2 bass guitar tracks, 10 guitar tracks, 8 drum tracks, and 8 synth tracks. Now, the reason I have it set up that way is because most of the music that I produce tends to be rock music, some metal, some folk music, but it tends to be a traditional, like old school band setup: bass, drums, guitar, keys, vocals, sometimes some other things. And for that reason, I have this set up this way as my template, right? Now, let's say that a band sends me files for a song and it only has 8 vocal parts. All right. I plug in those 8 vocal parts and I just simply delete the 2 that are left over. It's so much easier, right? And the same applies for all of these things, obviously. On the right side of the screen, you can see I have a sound built into my pool. It's just a little clap sound. I use that in the 4 beats to lead off my songs. That way, if I do a basic mix and send it back to a client, they may want to add a layer of some guitar or a synthesizer or whatever. It really helps to have that clap built in because then we can sync up very easily, especially when they send it back to me. It used to be the client would send me a new part for the song and they would just send me something that was 15 or 20 measures in and I would have no clue. And then it would be a whole bunch of wasted time trying to figure out where that even gets placed, right? So I just put that little clap in on a free track, and then when I get done layering in new stems, it's really easy just to remove it, right? Again, you learn all these little time savers as you go on. There's probably some time savers that I still have to learn. I have also all my settings right now the way that I want them. Like I really like the split tool to be my control option on my cursor, and I like my time base to be set up as bars instead of seconds, for example. And I like the snap to be set to grid and to relative grid. And again, I'm not going to explain what all that means right now. You may already know, but I could also do a future video to break that down if you find it helpful. Just leave that in the comments, and I'll definitely do that. And I have my different instruments set up and ready to go. I tend to not use a lot of virtual instruments, as I mentioned, so I just have some kind of basic things in here, stock for the most part. I used to have some pretty cool piano instruments, but I just found that I was rarely using them, so I don't have them in here anymore. And effects, right? So these are almost all the built-in effects, and then you can see I have a lot of Fab Filter and a couple of isotope plugins available too. So this is what my template looks like. If I go to my mix page, again, you can see all the different tracks that I've already set up. But then on the far right, you can see that there's this mix channel. And on here, I have that limiter already built in. And I have a spectrometer already built in. I have a phase meter already built in. So I don't have to take the time to do that stuff when I'm starting a brand new song project. It's just already there for me. Super easy, massive time saver, right? Now, let's say that I wanted to do something to make a slight change to this template. Like, I really do like the way this is set up, but I don't like having snap to grid set up. I only want relative grid set up, okay? Then, or excuse me, snap to event. Let's say I want snap to event set up. Then in that case, I'll make the change. I'll go under File, and I'll click on Save as Template. And I'm just going to click this little Replace Existing button. And when I do that, it's going to say, okay, which one do you want to change? Do you want to change test? Do you want to change Innovaniac Music? Or do you want to change the BFM podcast template, right? And for me, that would be this Innovaniac Music one. I'm not going to actually change it because I've got it set up the way that I like it, but that would be how you would do it, right? But for this, I'm just going to cancel that. So that's pretty much it. If you want to save a whole bunch of time, set up a template, and definitely please leave a comment for me. Let me know if this was helpful to you. And also, You know what? For those of you that have done this before and you have some ideas that I haven't thought of, share in the comments and we can all learn from one another. I think it's really useful. So, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you liked what you heard, please click that subscribe button. That actually helps me a lot. It tells YouTube that I'm doing something worthwhile. And not only that, it'll alert you when I have another video coming out. And that's always good to know. Click that like button. Do me a favor and share this with a friend. Thank you. And until the next video, dream big and create boldly.